Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. If you enjoyed today's content, please click like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Please share the video to your friends and family if you think this is something they would be interested in. Today we're going to talk about tenses. And this gets confusing for many learners because they don't know when to use the simple present tense versus the present progressive tense. I'm going to show you its usage and also how you can form these two tenses. In part 1 of the video, we're going to talk about the simple present tense. So, let's begin. We use the simple present tense when we want to talk about a habit or a usual activity, meaning that this is something that normally happens or something that you normally do. In our example, Peter rides the bus to work every day, which means that he does this all the time or he does this every day. Another use for the simple present tense is when we want to state a fact or a generalization. But what is the difference between the two? A fact is something that has been proven, while a generalization is something that most people believe is true. In our example, fish swim. This is a fact because of course they live underwater and their way to move from one place to another is through swimming. A generalization could be something like grass is green because not all grass would be green, especially if they are already dead. Dead grass is not green, it is brown. But when we think of grass, we normally think of something that is green. That's why, as a generalization, I can say that grass is green. If we take a look at our timeline, the blue one in the middle is for now, the brown one on the left side is for the past, and the green one on the right side is for the future. The X's indicate a point in time when the activity happened. And as you can see, it is filled with X's from the past to the future because these things will not really change. It hasn't changed before, and it probably will not change in the future unless something happens. So, if I say Peter rides the bus to work, he started riding a long time ago in the past, he continues to do the activity now, and he will continue to do the activity in the future. You have to think of the simple present tense as something that is regular or normal or true. So if I say I am a teacher, it means that this is my current job. This is what I do. I can also say we eat and drink, we play games, we have fun, and so on and so on. These are all in the simple present tense because they are normal, they are regular, it happens all the time, and it is also true now, which is a fact or a generalization. So how do we form the simple present tense? For statements using a main verb, we can use the basic sentence structure, which is subject, verb, and object, or SVO. In our example, I only have the subject and the verb, but we can put an object after the verb to complete our sentence. We can say, I study English. You study English. We study English. They study Japanese. We can also replace the pronouns we and they with definite subjects like the students, the workers, the employees, the managers, the people, and so on and so on. But the verb that follows these will still be in the plural form, which is study only. So I can say the students study English. For he, she, and it, the verb will be in the singular form, which means that we need to add an S or an ES to the verb. So he studies, she studies, it studies. We can also replace he, she, and it with definite subjects like James studies engineering, Hannah works at a coffee shop, and the computer studies human behavior. To form the negative, we need to add do or does, and then add not, and then our verb. For example, I do not study English. You do not study English. We do not study English. They do not study English. He, she, and it will use does. He does not study. She does not study English. It does not study English. In this case, our auxiliary verb is the one that changes to the singular form and not our main verb. Our main verb will use the base form of the verb, which is just study, but we added es to do. That's why it became does, to make it singular. When we want to say what something is, we don't use a main verb, but rather we use the auxiliary verb be plus a subject complement. A subject complement can be an adjective like expensive or beautiful, or it can be another noun like a student, an engineer, a doctor. So I can say, I am a student. Am is the form of be that we need to use with I, and then followed by a subject complement, which is a noun, a student. For you, we, and they, we need to change be into the plural form, which is are. So, we are students. He, she, and it requires a form of be that is singular. So, instead of are, we can say is. Plus a subject complement, I can say it is expensive. Danny is worried about the test. In plural form, we can say we are worried, they are hungry, or we are students, they are teachers. To form the negative, all you need to do is to put not after the verb be. So I am not a student, they are not students, he, she, and it is not a student. To ask a yes or no question in the simple present tense is very easy. All you need to do is to put your auxiliary verb at the beginning of the sentence. So we put be at the beginning and do at the beginning also. So I can say, am I a student? Are you a student? Is he a student? All of this will be answerable by yes or no. Are you a student? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. For main verbs like study, do you study English? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Does he study English? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. The easiest way to answer a yes or no question is by listening to the auxiliary verb used. So if the question is he a student? Then we know that is a form of be. Therefore, we need to answer with be also. Is he a student? Yes, he is. No, he is not. However, if the question starts with do or does, do you study English? The answer will be yes, I do, or no, I don't. Does he study English? Yes, he does. No, he does not. To make you sound more natural, we need to use contractions, especially with verbs like be and do. So instead of saying I am a student, you can say I'm a student. The contraction of I and am is I'm. For he, she, and it plus is, it will be he's, she's, its. For you, we, they will be are. You're a student, we're students, and they're students. To form the negative of be, we cannot contract am and not. So what we can do is we can contract the pronoun I and then am, because there is no ament. So therefore, do not contract am and not. For he, she, and it will be he's not, or we can also say he isn't. She's not, she isn't, it's not, it isn't. For you and the plurals we and they, we need to add are and then not. So we can say you're not or you aren't. We're not or we aren't. They're not or they aren't. Lastly, for the auxiliary verb do, we can say I don't study, you don't study, we don't study, they don't study. For the singular he, she, and it, we need to use does plus not, which makes it he doesn't study, she doesn't study, it doesn't study. Well, that's it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something from it. Please try to use the simple present tense and use it correctly. But remember that this is only part 1 of a 2-part series, and I will upload the present progressive tense so you can see the difference between the two. Click like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be updated every time I upload a new video. So I'll see you on the next one.